Claire from Santulan Yoga. For today's class, this foundation class, we will be looking at opening up the sides of the body and the front and the back. For today's class, you don't necessarily need any props, but if you would like some extra assistance, you can have a yoga strap or a dressing gown tie, or you can also have a yoga block and a blanket for the end of class. So we will start in a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana, easy seat, easy pose, with the legs crossed, bottom on the ground. Growing tall out of the pelvis, lifting up through the spine, neck and the head, as if a string is attached to the top of our head and is lifting us nice and long and tall. Taking a breath here. And on the next inhale, raising our arms up overhead, alongside our head. And as we exhale, just hinging forward from the hips and extending our arms as far forward as we feel comfortable, and just placing the hands wherever they land. So if they're not too far from the legs, that's fine. Always in yoga, we're just wanting to meet our point of resistance. So if you're feeling a little bit of pulling in the lower back, we want that to be a comfortable resistance, but not in any pain in that lower back. So if you do feel a slight twinge, just walk those hands back a wee bit. So we'll take just a couple of breaths here. Just breathing into that back of the spine, back of the pelvis area. One more breath. And on your next inhale, just lifting the head, lifting the body up ever so slightly, and we'll walk both of our hands over to the left hand side now. So bringing the torso over top of that left leg, left knee, and just hinging forward from that position. Again, just being mindful of wherever your body is at today. And again, just placing the hands wherever they land. So if having the arms outstretched isn't comfortable, you can walk those hands back a bit, maybe have one hand forward, one hand more back towards the legs to give yourself some balance, or bring both of the hands more back towards the hips. Just have a play around to see where the hands feel best. All right, one more breath there. And on your next inhale, lifting the head, lifting the body slightly, walking the hands back to center. Pausing here for a moment in the center. And now walking the hands over to the right hand side, and then hinging forward from the hips over that right knee now. And again, just playing around with the hands, see wherever it's most comfortable to have those hands. And as always, when we're doing asanas from right to left, just noticing how this side is feeling compared to the first side that we did. Breathing into that lower back, breathing into the hips, ensuring that we're not straining ourselves. We'll take one more breath. And on your next inhale, lifting the head, lifting the body, and just walking the hands back to center. Pausing there for a moment, And then walking the hands back towards the legs and sitting the torso up. Have that nice, straight, tall spine. Alright, keeping the right knee bent, we're going to extend the left leg straight out in front of us. And just making sure our hips are square to the front of the mat. Again, growing tall through the spine, head and neck. And when we're ready, inhaling, lifting the arms up alongside the head. And as we exhale, hinging from the hips and extending those arms long, keep reaching for that left leg. And then just placing the hands wherever they land. So whether that's alongside the leg, or maybe your hands are resting on your thigh or your shin, maybe you can reach the foot. Now this is a place where you can use that strap if you wish. You can place the strap around the ball of the left foot and then grab onto the strap with your hands. And this can just give you a little bit more extension. But wherever the hands land is perfectly fine. And if you've only moved forward just a couple of centimeters and you're still sitting reasonably upright, then that's completely fine. Everyone's at their own place. So in this asana, janu sirsasana, head to knee. What we want to do is wherever our hands are, just making sure we're flexing that foot, those toes and that foot back towards the body. We want to engage those leg muscles of the left leg. So just make sure that it's not flopping about basically. So engaging those leg muscles, staying engaged, this will help with the hinging movement. With the right leg, with the knee bent, just using the muscles of the right leg, just very gently encouraging that right knee down towards the floor. Even if it only moves a millimeter, that's fine. And if it doesn't move at all, just having that intention of that's the direction that we want to be going in. And if that right leg that's bent is feeling a little bit unstable, this is a great place where you could place a block underneath the knee or closer to the hip. You could also roll up your blanket and place it under there as well, just to give that leg some more support. When we support ourselves with props, this enables the body to open up and we're not having that tenseness of feeling like we're working against our body. So one more breath there, wherever you are. And very slowly walking the hands back, walking our body back up to a seated position. All right, bringing that left leg in now. Bending through the knee, drawing that left knee back in and extending the right leg. Letting that left knee flop out and over, open to the left hand side. Again, just squaring our hips to the front of the mat. Growing tall through the spine, neck and head. Lifting up out of that pelvis and the side wastes of the body. Inhaling, drawing the arms up alongside the head. And exhaling, hinging forward, reaching those arms forward, reaching. And placing the hands wherever they land. So again, either on the mat, on the leg, or you can use the strap again here. flexing the toes of that right foot, drawing the toes and flexing the ankle, drawing that foot back towards the torso, engaging those leg muscles of the right leg. And with the left leg, with the knee bent, just using the leg muscles in that left leg as well, just very gently and mindfully encouraging that knee down towards the mat, just using the muscles, not forcing it down with a hand or anything like that. We just want to have that sensation of opening up through the hips. And again, if you need some assistance with that bent leg, the left leg, if it's feeling a little bit or shaking a little bit even, you can place a block underneath the knee or close to the hip, or that blanket again. Just supporting the body as it needs. And one more breath there. And just releasing the hands wherever they are, walking the hands back towards the body, and sitting straight up. So we'll keep the legs where they are for now. We'll just move that right leg outwards a little bit, just as far as you feel comfortable. And this time, instead of bringing the torso directly over the leg, we're going to turn ever so slightly towards the left knee, and you can place the right hand alongside that left shin, or you can place the right hand alongside the right hip. This time as we inhale, I'm bringing the left arm up and over, and we're bringing the side of our right side of our body over to that right leg. So we're moving more in a sideways direction. If you like, if the side of the body is feeling a little bit stuck here, you can add some movement in here. So moving that left arm to the left, to the right, and also letting the torso sway to the left and the right. You can start encouraging that body to be nice and soft, moving in this direction. Once you feel comfortable, you can pause in one place. And again, you can play with the arms if you need to walk the right arm out a bit further or move it round, just to somewhere that's supporting your torso. If the left arm is getting a little bit tight, if the shoulder is maybe a little bit tight, you can bend through the elbow and bring that left hand behind the neck or at the base of the head, so just that the left elbow is pointing out towards the ceiling, and ensuring that we're not collapsing down through the chest. We can quite often do that when we're feeling a bit tight or a bit tired. Just making sure that we're opening up through that chest, so rolling that left shoulder back and down. Nice and open through the chest, open through the body, nice and soft through the tummy. One more breath. And very slowly bringing the body back up to a central position. Bring the hands back. Extend both your legs long this time. Maybe give them a little jiggle. And now switching sides, so bending the right leg this time, extending the left leg long. And you can open the legs up a reasonable amount in this position. So more of a wide angle between both of the legs. And turning ever so slightly towards the right knee, placing the left hand down in front of you or alongside the left hip or left knee. And as we inhale, drawing the right arm up overhead, bringing the left side of the body over top of the left leg. And if you liked that movement from the other side, we can bring that in again, just moving that right arm back and forward to the right, to the left, letting the torso sway as well, finding some movement here. Noticing any sticky bits on this side of the side body. We're just opening up, we're just playing here. Once you feel happy, you can pause in one position. Really start to feel that stretch through the side body of the right hand side. And if the shoulder is a little bit tight or the arm is a little bit tired, you can bend through the elbow, place that right hand behind the neck at the base of the head, and just concentrate on that stretch through the side body, not worrying too much about the arm. Staying open through that chest, rolling that right shoulder back and down. Soft through the tummy. Relax through the face, the jaw and the throat. One more breath. And when you're ready, bringing that body back up to center. Alright, bringing both of those legs back together again, just extending those legs long, give the legs a little shake if they need, a little jiggle perhaps. And when you're ready, just bending through the left knee, draw the heel in towards the bottom, knee towards the torso. Place the left hand on the left knee. We'll bring the right hand behind us and breathing in, growing tall through the spine, head and neck. And as we exhale, very gently twisting, turning towards the right hand side. Making sure that we're keeping our bottom down on the mat, that we're not lifting or hiking that left hip up to try and get us round a bit further. Making sure we're keeping that bottom and those sit bones grounded. So if that means you're not getting so much of a twist, that's absolutely fine. We always want to make sure that our spine is in a nice, comfortable, stacked position. So anytime that we're twisting in yoga, particularly here in marichasana, just making sure that we can still breathe nice and easily through that tummy. So nice deep belly breathing as we inhale, making sure that tummy is filling up and expanding. And as we exhale, just drawing that belly button in towards the spine. Nice deep breathing, nice and relaxed. So just looking towards the right hand side. If the neck is okay, you can keep turning the head a little bit more, maybe looking over the right hand shoulder if that's comfortable. One more breath. And very slowly bringing the head back around, bringing the torso back around and facing the front. Pausing for a moment. extending the left leg long and bending through the right knee this time, drawing that right heel right up to the bottom, right knee right up to the torso. Bring that right hand around the right knee, drawing that left arm back behind us, rolling that left shoulder back and down nice and open through the chest. As we inhale, growing tall through the spine. As we exhale, very gently twisting over to the left hand side. So keeping your bottom down on the ground. Nice and soft through the belly. Nice deep breathing. If the neck is okay, turning the head, looking over that left shoulder. One more breath. And when you're ready, turning the head, turning the body back round to the front, extending both the legs, giving the legs a little shake, or maybe kind of pumping your feet back and forward to release through the lower back if you need that. But after that spinal twist, you should feel reasonably free in your lower back. And when you're ready, zipping both of those legs together, grabbing a strap if you need it, place it around the balls of the feet, growing tall through the spine, neck and head. And as we inhale, drawing the arms up alongside the head, hinging from the hips as we exhale, extending those arms long as far as you can reach. Keep reaching towards the toes even if you can't reach the toes, and then just placing the hands wherever they land, so alongside the body, on top of the legs themselves. If you can reach the toes, grabbing onto the big toes with your index finger and middle finger, or if you've got the strap, place your hands around the strap and pull very gently on the strap. In paschimottanasana, we want to imagine that we're pushing our feet into a wall. So having that sensation of your feet pushing into a wall so that the feet are completely square, not pinkies turning in or big toes turning in, nice and square. Flexing those toes and those ankles back towards the body, engaging both of those leg muscles, the quadricep muscles of the right and the left leg. Even while holding the strap, it's always a good idea to be nice and soft through the shoulders, neck and head. We don't want to be really like pulling very strong. We just want to use the weight of the arms. There's a little bit of tension on that strap if you're using the strap. So holding here for a few breaths. And just noticing how that lower back and the hamstrings and the calf muscles and down through the feet are feeling now. We've done quite a bit of work with opening up that bit of the body, that back part of the body. Seeing if you can notice a difference between now and when we first started. One more breath there. And on the next inhale, lifting the head and walking the hands back towards the hips and sitting straight up. All right, now coming over on to the knees now. So we'll start in a tabletop position, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Bring the knees wide and the big toes to touch. Keeping the hands where they are on the mat, and we're just going to bend through the hips and draw our bottom down towards our heels. So pressing those hips all the way back down towards the heels. Bring the chest down to the floor, chin or forehead down to the floor, and leaving the arms extended out in front. Balasana is also a great way for opening up through the back. And if you've done lots of strong back work, this is a nice way to counteract that. Just pausing here for a moment. One more breath. On your next inhale, lifting the head, looking towards the hands, and lifting the hips up off those heels, and slowly releasing the upper legs and the belly and the hips down towards the floor. So coming down onto your belly, onto the mat. Placing the hands right underneath the shoulders, keeping the forearms down on the mat, zipping the legs together. And when you're ready, placing the chin onto the mat. As we inhale, rolling those shoulder blades back and down so that they're sitting on the back. And as we also inhale, lifting our head, lifting our chest up off the mat, pressing very lightly into the hands, keeping those elbows tucked right into the ribs, keeping them down onto the mat. Now, depending on how your back is feeling today, you can just leave it here with coming up onto the forearms. If your back is a little bit more open, maybe you can start to press up into the hands a little bit more, lifting those elbows up off the floor. But you can stick with keeping the forearms down as well, if that's where you're at today. Taking a breath here. And as we exhale with control, very slowly releasing the chest and the ribs back down towards the mat. And lastly, the chin. Turning the head to one side, pausing for a moment. Now you can either stick with this, keeping the hands underneath the shoulders and the forearms down onto the mat, or if you wish, you can draw the hands back so that they're more alongside the armpits. Elbows are now sticking up off the mat. Turning the head back to center, chin onto the mat. When you're ready, inhaling, lifting the chin, lifting the chest up off the mat, pressing into the hands, pushing upwards, really using your back muscles now, using your back muscles to lift the upper part of your body up off the mat. If you are extending all the way up with your arms, do still leave a little bend in the elbows. This is more about using the muscles in your back than pressing up with your arms. If you are extending the arms reasonably straight, rolling those shoulders back and down when you're at the top, opening up through that chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together, elbows pressing in towards the ribs. Taking a breath here. And no matter what stage you're at, whether you're down with forearms on the floor or whether you're up higher, now as we exhale, just slowly with control, bring that body down vertebra by vertebra, belly button, lower ribs, mid-chest, upper chest, and very, very slowly, lastly, the chin. Turning the head to one side, pausing there for a moment, catch your breath. So again, if you want to stick with keeping the forearms down on the mat, continue with that. If you want to stick with that mid-level, continue with that. Or if your back is nice and strong, you can draw those hands back alongside the waist now, or just at the last point of the ribs, the 12th ribs. Squeezing the elbows in towards the ribs, drawing the head back to center, chin down into the mat. When you're ready, as you inhale, pressing into the hands, lifting the chin, chest, mid-chest, lower ribs coming up, belly button coming up, pressing down into the hands. Still have that nice soft bend in the elbows. Once you're at the top, rolling the shoulders back and down. Nice and open through the chest, easy breathing through the belly. Gently squeezing the bottom ever so slightly here to protect the lower back. Take one more breath wherever you are. And when you're ready, as you exhale, slowly lowering back down with control. Belly button, lower ribs, mid-chest, upper chest, and lastly the chin. Alright, turning the head to one side, releasing the arms. Take a wee breather here. That can be a lot of work into the lower back. If you wish, you can come back into balasana again, stretch out that lower back. When you're ready, this time we'll bring our arms forward alongside the head, pinky fingers down towards the floor, so palms are facing each other. Arms are at shoulder width apart, thumbs are pointing upwards towards the ceiling. You can have the legs hip width apart as well if that's comfortable. This time as we inhale, just lifting the right arm up off the mat and the left leg up off the mat. And exhaling back down. Inhaling, left arm, right leg up off the mat. And back down. Inhale, right arm, left leg. And exhaling down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. And exhaling down. Once more, inhaling, right arm, left leg. Exhaling down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhaling down. Alright, this time both arms, both legs, inhaling, reaching those arms and those feet away from the body, exhaling down. Once more, both arms, both legs, inhaling. Can you reach the arms and the feet up off the mat a little bit more? And exhaling. One more time, inhaling, both arms, both legs up off the mat. Really have the sensation of reaching from the center of your body as if you want to touch the fingertips to one wall and the toes to the other. Nice breathing. One more breath. Just up a little bit higher. One more breath. And exhaling, releasing down. Well done. All right, take a breather there. Either turning your head to one side or your forehead straight down onto the mat. Coming back into balasana again if you wish to release that back. And when you're ready, pressing yourself back up to a tabletop position and come to stand in the center of the mat. Alright, so you can walk the legs out or you can jump the legs out. But the distance that we want between the left and the right foot is the exact length as one of your legs, if you can imagine that. So we want a nice equilateral triangle there. Placing the hands on top of the hips, rolling the shoulders back and down, lifting the head slightly, lifting the tailbone slightly. And as we exhale, hinging from the hips, releasing the torso over top of those legs. Now you can either bring the hands down to the floor. If that's not accessible, you can place the hands on top of the thighs or the shins. Or you can also, if you wish, place your hands on top of a block, a yoga block. So just letting the head hang heavy, letting the body hang heavy. With the feet, you can have the feet pointing straight forward, or you can have the toes turning in ever so slightly. If the toes are turning in, just very gently roll into the very edges of both of the feet on the pinky side of the foot. We'll take a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, placing the hands back onto the hips, having a slight bend in your knees, tucking your chin into your chest, and very slowly bring the torso back up to a standing position, leaving the head till last. Once you're standing, then lifting the chin, lifting the head back up. This will help with any dizziness that you might feel from being upside down. Alright, keeping the legs where they are. This time we're going to turn the right foot out 90 degrees. Left foot is going to come in at a 45-degree angle. So with both of these legs, not only is it the foot that's turning, we want to be rotating from the hips as well. So the movement's actually coming from the hips as we rotate the legs outwards. So just check that those hips are opening up outwards for the right hand leg, moving out for the left hand leg, rotating inwards. Placing the right hand on top of the right thigh, left arm coming into the small of the back, rolling those shoulders back and down, tucking the tailbone under, tucking the bottom under, and bringing the right hand side of the body over top of the right leg. So we're moving in a right direction. So we don't want to be leaning the torso forward. We want to be moving towards the right. You can also think of it as if you're squeezing yourself between two very close buildings, and the only way that you can do it is moving sideways. With the right hand, you can place the right hand on top of the right thigh or down onto the shin. Don't place it on top of the kneecap. So choose which of those you want. You can also place your hand down onto a yoga block if that's accessible, or if you have one of those handy. Sinking down through the right hip and pushing the left hip outwards. Pressing down through the right heel and right big toe. Left leg rolling outwards onto the pinky side of the foot ever so slightly, so lifting that inner arch of the left foot. Once you've found your balance, you can open up through the left arm, bring the left arm up, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, rolling those shoulders back and down. Neck and head, make sure that's in a nice neutral position, that the head isn't dipping down or lifting up. You can look straight ahead, or if the balance is really good, you can look up towards the left arm. If the balance is not so good today, another thing you can do is you can look down towards the right foot, and that can help steady yourself. So we're using quite a few different muscles here in trikonasana. Taking a few breaths here in triangle pose, trikonasana. If the hamstrings are a bit tight, if this is a little bit uncomfortable, then do feel free to actually bend through that right knee, and you can place your right forearm onto the knee if that's a more suitable position for you today. Let's take one more breath. And if you're not there already, just bending through that right knee and drawing that torso back up to center. Alright, bring both toes to the front again. Maybe give the legs a little jiggle here in this position, in a neutral position. And now we'll do that to the other side. So turning the left toes out 90 degrees, making sure that movement is coming from the left hip. Right toes coming in at a 45-degree angle, rotating inwards with that right hip. Screwing the hips to the long edge of the mat. Placing the left hand on the left thigh, right hand in the small of the back. Rolling those shoulders back and down, tucking the tailbone under. And when you're ready, bring the left side of the body over the left leg. Having that sensation of squeezing yourself between two buildings. Pressing down through the left heel to the outward edge of the left foot, and then down through the left big toe. Sinking down into that left hip, pressing the right hip outwards, and rolling over onto that right outer part of the foot, the pinky side, ever so slightly. Once you've found your balance, lifting that right arm up, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Rolling the shoulders back and down, opening up through that chest. And just checking in with the head and the neck, making sure the head and the neck is in a neutral position. So either looking straight forward, if the balance is good, looking up towards the right arm. If it's not so good today, looking down at the left foot. And again, if the hamstrings are tight, do feel free to bend through that left leg and place the left forearm on top of that thigh. Feeling into all those muscles working together, all those very fine-tuned movements here in trikonasana. Everything seems to be doing opposite things, but it's all working together. No matter where you're looking, finding a spot to focus on to help with your balance. All right, one more breath. And very slowly bending through that right leg and bringing the torso back up to a standing position. All right, walking those legs back together again. Maybe give them a little jiggle, a little shake. Maybe you feel you need to kick the legs a little bit. Feel free to kick the legs a little bit. Standing with the feet together or a fist's width apart, whichever's more comfortable for you. Raising the arms up alongside the head, interlacing the fingers and revolving the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling and releasing the backs of the hands back down to the top of the head. As we inhale, extending the arms long, pushing the palms up towards the ceiling and lifting our heels up off the floor, lifting up onto the balls of the feet as high as you feel comfortable. And exhaling with control, releasing the heels down, releasing the palms down towards the top of the head. With your own time and your own breath, 4 more times. Inhaling, arms reaching up towards the ceiling, really push the heels, those hands up towards the ceiling, lifting up onto the balls of the feet. Exhaling, releasing back down. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Once more, inhaling. This time take a breath at the top. Reach those arms away, lifting up all the balls of the feet, maybe a little bit higher. Inhale again. And exhale, releasing with control, arms down, heels coming back down. All right, keeping the hands where they are, stepping the feet out a bit wider, at least a foot width apart. 2 would be even better. This time we'll inhale, arms reaching up to the center. As we exhale, just bending the torso over to the right hand side. Inhale, center. Exhale, bending to the left hand side. With your own breathing in your own time. We'll do this 6 more times. Press the heels of those hands away, just like before. Once more to each side. And coming back to center. This time dropping the hands down to shoulder height, keeping the feet where they are, breathing to center, and as we exhale, turning to the right, bring that right arm into the small of the back behind you, left arm and hand is coming across the chest, and place the left arm on top of the right shoulder and turning towards the right. Inhaling, back to center. Exhaling, twisting to the left. Left arm coming into the small of the back, Right arm and hand coming on to the left shoulder, twisting to the left. Inhaling back to center. So we're giving ourselves a little hug each time we twist. Inhaling, twisting towards the left. Inhaling, twisting towards the right. Inhaling, left. Inhaling, right. Inhaling, left. 3 more times with your own breath in your own time. Once more to each side. Inhaling back to center. All right, now wherever you are, either dragging your mat over to a wall, or you can do this in the center of the room as well. It's just a bit more comfortable against a wall, or you could also place your blanket beside the wall as well. Coming over to the wall, getting yourself set up. Once you're ready, sitting down with one hip right up against the wall, and hopefully in one fluid movement, but if not, we can take a few little steps here. We're rolling back onto the back, turning ourselves at the same time so that we're lifting both of our legs up against the wall. You may find that you need to wriggle your bottom in a little bit closer, so just kind of shuffle yourself in towards the wall. You don't have to be right hard up against it, but you also don't want to be too far away. The wall is there to support the legs. So reaching the legs long up the wall. Again, the feet can be together or hip width apart. Hip width apart is nice because the legs have a tendency to just stay there on their own. This one, we want the legs to be nice and relaxed. If you wish, you can also place the strap around the thighs so that gives your legs something to press against to the right and to the left. With the arms, you can just have the arms alongside the body, or you can bend through the elbows, bring the forearms up alongside the head, or you can bring the arms up above the head if that feels good, but just wherever they're comfortable. This position here, viparita karani, or waterfall pose, is a really nice thing to do straight after work, particularly if you work where you're on your feet all the time. This is one thing that I do when I come in from work, is take my shoes off, find myself a wall, stick my legs up the wall. Now you can start by just doing a minute or two at a time, working yourself up to about 5 minutes. It just really refreshes those legs, those tired, achy legs. Nice deep belly breathing here. One more breath here. And now just bending one leg at a time, bringing the knees down towards the chest, soles of the feet towards the wall. Just pausing here for a moment with the knees bent. If you wish, you could bring your arms up onto the knees, give the knees a little squeeze into your body. Maybe rock side to side slightly, massage that lower back. And then once you're ready, just rolling over onto one side and pausing there for a moment. And you can either just turn yourself around where you are if you're in a comfortable place, with the head towards the wall and the body and the legs stretching out away from the wall. Or you can come back to the center of the room if that's more comfortable. We've got more space there. Just lying back down onto the back. If you've got the blanket there and it's a bit chilly, then now is a good time to place a blanket over top of you, or any extra clothing, socks and a jumper. We'll be coming into shavasana now. So lying back on the back, let the arms and the legs roll away from each other, palms face up. Tucking the chin into the chest ever so slightly, extending the back of the neck along the mat, and then just letting the chin lift naturally. Finding a spot on the ceiling to focus on, looking at that spot on the ceiling. And now just softening your spot on the ceiling, letting the eyes lose their focus. And if it's comfortable, closing the eyes. With the eyes closed, just drawing your eyes down as if you could look through your body down to your feet. Drawing the eyes down with the eyes closed. Now hold this position for 10 seconds. You can either count to 10 or you can guess how much 10 seconds are. Once you've reached that 10, just suddenly let your eyes go and let the eyes soften in your eye sockets. And just coming back into the breath. In through the nose or mouth, back of the throat, down into the lungs, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose or mouth. Just drawing your mind inwards towards following that breath, moving in and out of the body. Breathing in through the nose, back of the throat, down into the lungs, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. And now just drawing your awareness to the rising and the falling of your chest and your tummy as you breathe in and out. Breathing in through the nose, back of the throat, down to the lungs, chest rising, and exhaling, chest coming in, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. This time you might even be able to feel the diaphragm pulling down ever so slightly as the lungs fill. Maybe you can feel a slight lift in the belly button as you inhale, and exhale, belly button and abdomen coming in, diaphragm coming in, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. In through the nose, back of the throat, down into the lungs, down into the diaphragm, down into the abdomen, tummy expanding, exhaling, tummy coming in, diaphragm coming in, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. In through the nose, back of the throat, down into the lungs, down through the diaphragm, down through the abdomen, and you might even feel the ribs expanding outwards. Exhaling, ribs coming in, tummy coming in, diaphragm coming in, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. Now just letting go of the concentration of the rising and falling of the chest and the abdomen, and just coming back to following the breath moving in and out of the body. Now taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling deep into the lungs and exhaling with a sigh. Inhaling once more, inhaling. Now slowly wriggling the fingers and the toes, bring some movement back into the body. Maybe if you like, you can roll the head from side to side if that feels good. Keeping the eyes closed when you're ready, just rolling over onto your right side and pausing there for a moment. With the eyes closed, just pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. And just noticing how your body is feeling now compared to beginning of class. How your breath is feeling now. And how your mind is feeling now. To close the practice, we will chant 3 Oms, followed by Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, Hari Om. So that's Om, peace, peace, peace. So be it. So we'll take 1 breath to prepare, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling for Om. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Bring the palms of the hands together, placing them beside the chest. Rubbing the palms of the hands together, create some heat. Once you've created sufficient heat, place the hands over the eyes, looking into the palms of the hands, letting your eyes adjust to the light. Place the hands over the face and the cheeks now. Throat and the neck. Place the palms of the hands together again, rubbing the palms of the hands together, create some more heat in the hands. Backs of the hands, fingers and thumbs. Wrists and forearms. Placing the palms together again into the chest. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you for joining me for this foundation practice today.